Hi teachers, if for some reason you cannot log on to TestNav, you can play this video tutorial with your students and have them play with the tools with you. So I'm going to start. It should say welcome TestNav user. You're going to click start. There's 28 questions total. So I'm just going to navigate you through the different tools available. So the up and down, or the left and right button, will navigate you through different questions. See, now we're on question 2. So we have the 2 arrows on the side. We have the review bookmarks, which I'll go through. This is a tutorial. It should say math or reading when you're taking the actual test. This section you're on, there's a section, and this is 2 of 28. So this is the question number. So reviewing your answers. So on the top, there's a review button, as you can see. And there's 25 unanswered questions, 28 total, and I've bookmarked 0. So that's how you review all the questions that you have. So if you wanted to bookmark a question, and a bookmark just means that you want to come back to it later, you're just going to click on the top to bookmark. And teachers, you can stop this video at any time to give students the opportunity to find the tools that we are discussing. So exiting and resuming the test later. So if I wanted to exit the test, students will use the same login information. You're just going to click on the little person on the right-hand side and click Sign Out of TestNav, and that will log you out. The same credentials you used to sign in originally will get you into the same test. So submitting the test, at the very end, we're going to go through that. It'll show you to submit all your final answers, and that's how you're going to submit the test. So let me just show you where you'd find that. Let's say you're at the end of the test. It says submit final answers, but I have one bookmark. A bookmark is something that, again, I might want to revisit, and I have 22 unanswered. So I might not want to submit yet. So let me go back to the question I left off on, which was 6. Okay, so we're now on question number 7, as you can see on the top. So these are the different tools that I have, and we're going to play with them in a second. And you can find some more tools on the side over here. And sometimes you'll find additional tools on the right-hand side. So make sure that you look on the right-hand side to make sure that if there is any tools available, that you do utilize them. Okay, so your toolbars. So we're going to start with the pointer. You have your 2 rulers. Here you have a notepad, and if you hover over what it is, it'll tell you answer eliminator and calculator. Now you may not have a calculator available in all your tests. It just depends on what test you're taking. So the pointer obviously is to select an answer. You can drag things, mark objects. So the pointer is what you're going to use most of the time. Okay, so let's say I wanted to measure something. I'm going to click on a ruler. So bring my ruler down. And I could drag it wherever I want it to be. So this, I can pivot by clicking on the circles and dragging it up and down. So let me try to straighten this out. Okay, so now I can measure this side of the triangle. And let's say I wanted to measure centimeter ruler. I have a centimeter ruler. And again, you're just going to click the circle. So now I could tell you how many, or what close to how many centimeters that this square is. Okay, so those are your rulers. Your notepad only works for the question that you're on. So let's say I read the question and I wanted to take some notes. Maybe it's a reading question, and I want to remember that John had 10 apples. Susan had 6 apples. And this is just a way so that I don't have to read the whole thing all over again. So that's my notepad. When I click out, if I click back on the notepad, my information is still there. Now, when I go to question 12, the information about Susan Apples will no longer be there. But however, if I go back to question 11, where we talked about Susan's apples and John's apples, I could click on the notepad and bring the information back up. See, it's still there. So that's how you can utilize the notepad. So the next tool is the calculator. So if you have the calculator option, you'll click on the calculator and you can use it at any time. And you would just click with your pointer the buttons. So 5 plus 5 equals 10. You can move the calculator, it's in your way so you can see the question. That's how you would use the calculator. So the answer eliminator tool, you would use it to eliminate answers that you know are not correct. So for example, we're going to try it. So this is the X. So let's say after reading this, I know the answer is an A. So I would click on A to eliminate that answer. And I know it's not D, so I click on D. So this helps me. Let's say I decide to bookmark this question and come back to it later. It'll remind me that I am just looking at answers B and C. I don't have to look at the whole question again. It'll save me a lot of time. So it says the correct answer is B, so we're going to click on B. See, it won't let me click, so I have to go back to my pointer, and then I can click on B. So we're going to move to the next question, which is 15. So the highlighting tool. So this is a picture, so you can't highlight it, but we're going to practice the highlighting tool. So if I wanted to highlight something important, you're going to select and drag your finger. And then let's say I wanted to make this pink. I wanted to make this entire thing, blue and this pink. So I have between blue and pink are the two colors. Now let's say I didn't want this to be highlighted or highlighted by accident. So I'm just going to re-click on those words and then click on this slash to unhighlight those words. So now we're moving on we're on question 16 out of 28. So we're going to practice changing the colors. So we're going to do that now. We're going to try it. So if you click on this person at the top and you click change background or color, it could be white, maybe you like cream or blue or pink or black or blue or gray, whatever is easier on your eyes. I'm just going to pick a cream color. So now the entire test will be this pretty cream color. So I'm going to hit next. Now we're on question 18. So I'm going to show you how to use the magnifying tool. So you can zoom in on your keyboard. You can click on Control to zoom in, Control to zoom out, but you have to click on the magnifying glass. So if I click on the magnifying glass, and you shouldn't have to, I did not click on the magnifying glass. I clicked on the wrong one. It's where it says Enable Magnifier. So now if I hover over, let's say, these letters, see how big they got? So it just serves as a magnifying glass. And you can hover over anything, the directions. You just have to make sure that you're on point. So where it says screen larger, let's see if I can hover. See, screen larger. I made it bigger. So that's how you would use the magnifying glass tool. If you're struggling to see or you need something enlarged, that's one way that you can enlarge text or pictures. So I'm going to disable that. And we're going to move on to question 19. So the line reader mask tool, I'll show you what it is. So this is the line reader mask tool. And I'm going to move it over the text, the Tortilla Sun, from Tortilla Sun. and I'm going to cover the entire text. So let's say I'm the type of person that just likes to read line by line. This on the side makes how big, let's say I wanted to see 2 lines at a time or 1 line, but let's say I just want to see 1 line at a time. So then I would, right here where the cursor is, or the cross, I could drag and I would only see 1 line at a time. So that's helpful for those of you that like to use your finger and point at words or use a ruler. Sometimes this helps you focus on the 1 line instead of the whole thing. And you could move this out of your way if it's getting in your way, or if you don't want it at all and you changed your mind, you just hit hide line reader mask. So now we're on question 20. So question 20, I showed you on Tortilla Sun, but this is where we're supposed to practice the line reader mask. Let's say, like I said before, you would cover the whole text. Let's make this longer. And again, you would just drag over the 1 line at a time. And you could practice doing that right now. I'm just going to select an answer. Let's say the answer is 2. Okay, we're moving on. So now we're on question 21 out of 28. We're almost finished. So this is the answering masking tool. And I really, really like this tool. So this is, let's say I read a text and I know, to make sure that I know the answer, I like to answer the question without ever seeing the answer choices. Then this is the perfect tool for you. Because I would answer the question and then I would try to find out the closest. Let's say the question was, what did Johnny steal? And let's say he stole bread, and I read from the text. Then I would try to look for the answer bread, and I would open up each answer choice at a time. This way, the answer choices don't, what do you call them? The answer choices won't kind of mess up my train of thought. So if you're the type of person that likes to cover up answer choices and reveal them after you've answered the question, this is a good tool for you. So I'm going to disable that because I don't want to use it anymore. We're on question 22. So text to speech. If text to speech is enabled on your computer, it'll show up on the side. So if you hit play, it's going to highlight what it's reading. So it's actually going to start reading here where it says try it.
1. Select the play text to speech button on the text.
So as you can see, she's reading very slow. So if I go here, I can make her volume louder. I can't change this particular voice. It's stuck on female. But let's say I wanted to speed it up to fast.
1. Select the play text to speech button on the text to speech.
See, now she reads much faster. So let's say I didn't want to start from the beginning. What I would do is I would select where I wanted to start and then click the announcement, the toggle button. And then hit play.
1. Select.
Oops. I take that back.
3. Select the text-to-speech settings button, and then select the plus or minus buttons to change.
So there you go. Like, let's say you wanted to start somewhere else, the toggle button
5.
will appear.
Select the toggle click to hear button. 5. Select the toggle click to hear.
So that's the toggle, in case you don't want to start from the very beginning. And if you wanted to go backwards and forwards through the text, you would just hit these 2 buttons. So
3. Select the text-to-speech setting. 3. 3. Select the text-to-speech settings button. 5. Select the toggle click to hear button, and then select the text
and then to stop her, you do have to hit stop. Okay, so those are a couple things for you to try. Your teacher can stop it here so that you can play with that. So moving on, this is a really important feature, teachers, in case you want to give them some time to play with that. So question 23, exhibits. So if there's something important on the side, see, always check your right hand side. It'll show up. And here it gives me a formula that I can use. So make sure you always look on the right hand side just in case. And you can move this exhibit sheet wherever so it doesn't have to be in your way. We're almost done. We're on question 24. Okay, so this selection shows how to work through these type of questions. We're going to look at scrolling, multiple choice, and gridables really quick, and most of you are familiar with this. But make sure that when you're scrolling that you see the whole text. So I'll give you an example. For example, this is the text. If I scroll down the first time when I'm looking at the text, it looks like, this is correct answer C. It looks like it ends at 14. But now if you see this, the scrolling bar on the side, if I pull the scrolling bar down, I see that the text actually ends all the way down and there's more information. So make sure that you read the whole text, especially when you're doing the reading test, because you don't want to miss anything. Okay, so that's scrolling. Okay, guys, we're on question 26. Multiple choice questions. So obviously you would just click using your pointer on the correct answer. You're pretty familiar with that. So gridables, it tells you on the top. So if you use the slash, that indicates a fraction. If you use a period, it shows decimals. If you use a hyphen, that indicates negative numbers. Please do not use a comma when it comes to answers that are bigger than 3 digits. So for example, if your answer is 3/5, you would put 3/5. If your answer has a decimal, you could write it out this way. If it's a negative, you would make sure you use the hyphen. I'm just going to highlight some of this. And then change the answer, or change the number. So let's say it was 6,345. You would not put a comma. You would just put 6345 in the box. And this is our last question. So summary at the end of your tutorial, it shows that whether you're ready to submit your answer. So it shows that I've answered all the questions. However, I did bookmark one. If I click on the bookmark, it says I bookmark question 4. I can either revisit question 4, or if you feel you did well, you obviously don't have to revisit, but we revisited just so I can show you how this works. So I'm going to go back to review. It shows that there's 28 questions, 0 are unanswered. So I've answered all of them. I'm going to go back to the end of the section and I'm going to submit my final answers. Once you submit your final answer, that's it. There is no going back to the test. It'll tell you how many you got wrong, your percentage, what your score is. So good luck on your test.